An increase in people calling San Diego County home means a greater need for water and power, and how to deliver it to San Diego has stirred up controversy among environmentalists, tribal leaders, and backcountry residents. So with me to look at the progress made in the last year is KPBS environment reporter Ed Joyce. SDG&E broke ground on the controversial Sunrise Power Link earlier this month, Ed, but that's only the last in a really long sequence of events that's happening around the project. What were the bumps in the road that had to be overcome to get to this point?
There were a lot of regulatory hurdles at the federal level, the state level, the county level. There's still challenges. There's still some outstanding lawsuits, although they did have a ceremony recently and did break ground on that project, which would bring energy from the Imperial Valley. That's the idea, to tie into renewable energy in the Imperial Valley and bring it to San Diego County.
Okay, but there are some who say that not necessarily would be renewable energy from Imperial County, that it might be some dirty fossil fuel energy from Mexico.
There have been claims made by opponents of the Sunrise Power Link that that is indeed the case. They have made the claim that they need that power line strictly to tie into renewable energy sources in the Imperial Valley. That's been SDG&E's claim all along. Those opposing the power line have a different opinion of that. They also have said that there's other ways to get that energy that the power line would provide within the county in basin, as they call it, and that there's no need for that power line.
Is the plan full speed ahead now, or could it still be stopped?
They've met all the regulatory approvals. So as far as state and federal approvals are concerned, they've passed all the tests.
They have the U.S. Forestry Service,
Bureau of Land Management, Cal Public Utilities Commission, and all of that, the National Forest Service as well. However, there are 3 lawsuits that are outstanding that are challenging the project on a variety of grounds. Those have yet to play out, and that we'll see how that goes in the courts.
Well, assuming that they play out in favor of SDG&E, how much additional energy is the power link actually expected to bring to this area?
Well, rather than confuse people with megawatts, let's just say the utility says that it would bring enough power to supply the needs of 650,000 homes.
Okay, but that's only one project. There are a lot of other projects to accommodate San Diego's devouring of power. There's something called the Tule Wind Farm. What's that?
That's a wind farm project that's proposed in southeast San Diego County. It also ties in with a project that's SDG&E has proposed, what they call the Eco Substation, which would be a substation that would connect transmission lines bringing power from Mexico, another project that's across the border, as well as the Tule Wind Power Project, which would need to tie into this particular Eco Substation. This would be up to 136 wind turbines in southeast San Diego County that would provide wind energy.
And there's been an environmental report on this?
They just recently issued the EIS, environmental draft EIS and EIR for this project. There's a lot of different alternatives the CPUC will consider when they look at this draft environmental report. Some of those are not doing the wind turbines at all. There's some other alternatives that are in the mix also, but they do say there's some possible, visibility, air resources, a lot of impacts, biological resources that would happen with that wind power project.
So there are objections then. You often think of wind power as being so pure, but obviously, to some people, there is some opposition.
It depends where that project is located. If it's in your backyard and you live in a rural community where this project is proposed and you've enjoyed that backcountry area, those unfettered scenic views, and suddenly someone proposes to put 136 wind turbines, as many as that, in your area, plus there's some other transmission line projects that are proposed in the same area, you kind of take a different view of that.
But if you take a look at all that we need, you also have to look at water. Now, I know it's been really wet lately, but we had 4 years of drought. Are we still in a drought?
Technically, no. The drought ended this year. We've had an average to above average rainfall year, so the drought cycle is over for now.
So do we need to increase our water supply?
Well, we're still growing. People are still building suburbs in San Diego County. There's always a need for more water. Water conservation is part of the equation, but we've had that proposal that's been approved by regulators for a desalination plant in Carlsbad.
All right, so what's next for that plant? We've been hearing about it for a long time.
It started, I think the whole process started around 2003. 80-plus hearings, lots of challenges. They've met all those regulatory approvals, just like the Sunrise Power Link. However, again, we have outstanding lawsuits challenging the desalination plant as well.
Thank you very much, Ed Joyce.
Nice to be here.